Okay, welcome to another day of Spanish class for working class comrades. I hope you all having a good day, evening, morning, whichever corresponding to your current time zone. We've been figuring out how to get out of the summertime schedule thing. They took an hour away from us now, so it's officially 8:27 p.m. here in Madrid, Spain. And we're about to start our Spanish class. So I hope you're all having a good day. As you remember, we've been seeing on our first lesson, we saw the alphabet. Second and third lessons, we saw most of the verbs. Like we've seen indicative mode, and it was a shit ton of different tenses of indicative verbs. And we have seen also the subjunctive. That was a little bit of difficult or say strange things to explain for foreign people. We were in the territory of coulda, woulda, shoulda. But right now, we're about to enter the final stage of the basic verbs, and we'll figure it out, about composite ways of dealing with the verbs, like more workaround, more roundabout ways to figure out verbs. But we'll take them as we encounter texts, because I'm not gonna get caught up in verbs so much. We're doing a very simple basic 101. We're showing you all of the different tenses of the different modes. And today we have these verbs again, but in conditional imperative mode. So we're gonna see two modes that are very, very, very simple: condicional and imperativo. Ahoy, Nicole, welcome. You made it. So glad you made it to class. I speak English well. Me too. Totally my very, very native language. Anyway, yeah, we're still dealing with the same three verbs that we saw before: luchar, to struggle; aprender, to learn; resistir, to resist. These are the three verbs that we're dealing right now. Again, luchar, to struggle; aprender, to learn; resistir, to resist. We're going to go through, luchar is like also to fight and, and to struggle with something, but also to struggle the good struggle. Let's say the struggle to make the revolution happen, okay? Luchamos por la revolución. We struggle for the revolution. So the modes that we're seeing today, it's condicional, conditional, and imperativo, imperative. Let's say it's my least favorite mode. Imperative is my least favorite mode in the world. You may understand why, because it could as well be your least favorite mode, verbal mode in the world to use. But it's out there in the world, so we gotta learn it, okay? We struggle to learn to resist. Luchamos para aprender a resistir. That's your sentence in Spanish right there. So, yeah, okay. So, quick refresher. Luchar, primera conjugación, because it ends in ar. Aprender, segunda conjugación, because it ends in er. And resistir, tercera conjugación, because it ends in ir, the infinitive. So, ar, er, ir. Ar, er, ir. Again, participle, luchado, aprendido, and resistido, and gerundio, luchando, aprendiendo, and resistiendo, which is struggling, learning, and resisting. So, yeah. Okay. Let's get right into it, okay? If it's cool with you, people in the chat. Let's get to it. Okay. So, condicional simple. It's simple, conditional. Lucharía. Yo lucharía. Tú lucharías. Esa persona lucharía. Nosotros lucharíamos. Vosotros lucharíais. Ellos lucharían. Again, this is a coulda, woulda, shoulda case scenario in terms of translating it. But andiamo, wrong language. Yeah, that's Italian. We love Italian. That's a beautiful language there. It's kind of a neighbor language for us in Spain, because we got our friendly neighbors, the French and the Italian and the Portuguese, who are probably the friendliest of them all, the Portuguese. Wonderful people. Anyway, so this is a coulda, woulda, shoulda, but we could say, I would struggle if. I would struggle if I could, for instance. Let's write it down. Which is like, lucharía si pudiese. And then we're using the... right here, we're using the other, the other mode, the subjunctive in poder, pudiese. But lucharía, that's conditional. If I could, lucharía si pudiese. Let's say you cannot struggle because you're in a difficult situation and you're not in the position to be able to take part in a revolutionary movement that would be very good for the working class. Lucharía, I would struggle, si, if, pudiese. So this, lucharía, si, the if over here, si, do not confuse with the si with the accent over here. Sorry about that. Si, this is a yes, but si, it's an if. Okay, the accent is the difference over here. So that's an extra little thing that you can take with you. I would struggle, lucharía, if, si, pudiese, if I could. I could. Then again, this one is conditional, this one is subjunctive. And they're both in the territory of coulda, woulda, shoulda, but this conditional implies a condition. That's why it's called conditional. Ho, surprise. I hope it makes sense. Am I making sense so far? Let me know, Nicole. You're the most engaged in class. You know the drill. I'm gonna do the teacher thing, yes. Thank you, Nicole. I'm gonna do the teachers from my era, the Pleistocene, and and which we covered for our insecurity by leaning into the most cooperative student. Obviously, the UMP teacher's pet student. I'm not very comfortable with the concept of having a pet, but you're the teacher's comrade for sure. Friend is good. One of the things that I don't like about the teacher-student relationship, right? There seems to be like an imbalance there. And it's like, yo, dude, you're just, doing your best and trying to share knowledge. I know, that in real class situations, this tends to be because of, defending the vulnerability of the teacher. This teacher here has an open vulnerability right there and comes as vulnerable to you all. You're in politics to make enemies. Welcome to the left. I know you've been on the left for a while, but it's meant to be a joke. But yeah, considering all the infighting and all, But yeah, okay. Let's go back to the class itself. So I hope conditional is making a lot of sense. You're very good at it. Yeah, that's a skill. Yeah, I would say, the most difficult is not making enemies right now in the world today, being as polarized as it is, You can't be friendly with everyone, but not making enemies in itself is a victory so far. But we got a bit default enemies, and it's called the right wing. You know, that death cult we call the right wing, right? Okay, back to the class. Wait a minute, sip. Okay, so let's conjugate this. This implies like an if situation. I would struggle if I could. Lucharía si pudiese, right? So, yo lucharía. I would struggle. Tú lucharías. You would struggle. Esa persona lucharía. That person would struggle. Nosotros lucharíamos. We would struggle. Vosotros lucharíais. You all would struggle. Ellos lucharían. They would struggle. Again, if that third person would be him, a guy, a bro, we could say él lucharía. Or if it would be a her, a woman, a lady, we could say ella lucharía if they identified as those pronouns as, you know. But that person, if we don't know the pronouns or we don't know the person, you know, when we're not very sure, you could say that person, esa persona. As I was pointed out before, using the elle, but I'm not really sure about that one. But it's, you know, we're building this neutral thing in Spanish right now, so it's a current, you know, thing that's going on, and I would go like, yeah, let's try that too. So the other day, some chud told me I was going to hell. I told them I hope so. My name is Devil. Them chuds. I had a chud today send me like a message request on Twitter, and they were sending me like lame ass memes. And I was like, what are you trying here? Are you trying to I don't know. It's like the equivalent of political dick pics. It's like, but I didn't care. I didn't feel like offended or anything. I was like, this is so absurd. This makes no sense. Why does this person take a few minutes of their life to send someone else who they don't know some Stone Toss comics or bullshit like that? It's like, why? Why? You think you're gonna convince me or something with some lame ass, very weak memes? I don't know what they were trying to do. Poor people. I mean, you know, could be like I don't know what's on the other side of that cable, so could be anything to be honest. Okay, back to the class. So again, with us, we have like these three modes. If it's we are a group of men, guys, bros that we strongly identify with our masculinity, undeniably, we could say nosotros. And if we would be a group of women who very strongly identify with our femininity, we could say nosotras. And if it would be a mixed group of men, women, and non-binary people, or we're all non-binary, say, for instance, we could say nosotres. Again, for mixed groups or non-binary groups, either way, you know, nosotres is good. Same as if we were using the second person and plural, vosotros, you all guys, men, you all manly men, vosotras, you all womanly women, or vosotros, you all mixed group of non-gender, non-binary people, or a mixed group of people with men, women, and non-binaries mixed, you know. And same thing with them. Ellos for manly man, ellas for womanly woman, and ellas for mixed group of people or non-binary people. Same is gonna repeat over and over. I'm just hammering on this concept right now. But you know what it is. Pronouns in Spanish, and by this point you all probably are used to it. So is that cool, people? Is that cool, my very good comrade / students? Not in the student hierarchical way, but the good people that I'm sharing my knowledge with, and I'm trying to make sure that knowledge is coming through. Cool. Thank you so much, Nicole. Let's move to next tense. So conditional simple was this one. Condicional simple. Condicional simple. They're done in Spanish. Condicional simple. And of course, if you have a Spanish of the Latin American persuasion, you can say condicional simple, and it would be very, very good as well. And I would love it as well. Just saying, because I love Latin American Spanish variations. Are beautiful through and through. Anyway, moving on. You were saying, Nicole, you've absorbed sick knowledge. Thank you. Thank you for absorbing that good Spanish knowledge over there. Okay, so perfective conditional. Again, perfective is something that happened and finished, wrapped and done and done. So what happens here is the usage of the verb haber, which in this context is to have happened. So yo habría luchado is I would have struggled. Tú habrías luchado, again with the if condition, because we're talking about conditional and it's not subjunctive, it's conditional. So it implies that if something would have happened, right? So yo habría luchado, I would have struggled. Tú habrías luchado, you would have struggled. Esa persona habría luchado, that person would have struggled. Nosotras o nosotres habríamos luchado, we would have struggled. Vosotros habríais luchado, you all would have struggled. Ellos habrían luchado, they would have struggled. That's more or less how it goes, you know. The verb, you use it, the verb haber, to have in this context again, because haber by itself means something different, but for the sake of translation and so on. So you could say habría, habrías, habría, and that makes the perfective part of the tense. If we compare it with the simple conditional, lucharía, for instance, it is going to work in all of the pronouns, right? But we're going to take the me. I would struggle, yo lucharía. Yo habría luchado, I would have struggled. And, you know, habría, lucharía, it's more or less the same process, okay? It's just, you know, what you conjugate the to have and then add the participle, luchado, to all of them. Luchado, 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 luchado. That's another thing, you know. Regular teachers don't do this kind of crap. So I hope it adds at least not to the absorption of the knowledge, but at least to the lesson being less boring. Considering the subject. I'm not sure about what, Nicole. Sorry, I missed it. But yeah, I hope it's less boring. So imperativo, and this is the imperative. That's an order. The normal teachers don't do that. maybe, yeah. Sometimes you gotta lose your marbles. That's true. The pressure is real. Poor people. I feel a lot of empathy for teachers, like for real teachers, not me, who I'm an absolute hack, trying, you know, to share some knowledge with my comrades that I don't know anything about. You know, I mean, I know a little bit because, you know, I've been touch and go, you know, with the educational processes and so on and so forth. I've read a little bit, but I'm not by any means, you know, authorized to do that thing officially. But I'm free to do it freely. And yeah, I'm trying, okay, to share that knowledge with my good people. I hope it's useful. So imperative doesn't have the me person. It starts with the you. And yeah, the rest of the pronouns are there. It just starts with the you. Tú, lucha, you, struggle. It's an order, which sucks. I hate this tense, but it is what it is. So here's the imperative, okay? Tú, lucha. Esa persona, que luche. That person, go struggle. Luchemos. Let us struggle. Luchad. You, all people, go, struggle. Luchen. Those people over there, go fight. Que luchen. And it's something, with the second, the second in singular and plural, and the second is like que. You use the que. That person, esa persona, que luche. Por ejemplo, a ver. Suppose you're like giving an order. You're some kind of you're in charge of a column in your militia during the Spanish Revolution, and you're ordering that miliciano called Jose, and you assign him to the night shift. So, José, que luche en el turno de noche. Okay, I'm gonna break the... There you go. José, que luche en el turno de noche. You love the imperative. Use it with my cats. Fetch, sit, and it does it work? Oh, I'm sure you're a fantastic teacher. I'm sure it doesn't work. Cats are not good with orders. You gotta love them the way they are, right? Don't be there. Anyway. Oh, which is, by the way, the negative, the imperative, is different. Like I should include this actually. Okay. Because the negative of the imperative, it works like in the subjunctive. So you use the subjunctive. I'm gonna pull the document of the subjunctive. I'm gonna finish with this example for now, okay? José, que luche en el turno de noche. So, as of José, you or he must fight in the night shift. So José, que luche. You see, que luche. You use this with this tense over here. Okay. With the us, no, but with the they, with the second, no, and plural, but the third, yes. So with the third person, you use, say, esa columna. And the people included in that column, you use the plural, right? So you use this one, que luchen. And the third person, you use the que a lot. Again, when you're doing an order, right? But yeah, let's say if you use the no, you go, instead of using the imperative, even when your intention is to use the imperative, you go to the subjunctive. So you say, no luches. Esa persona que no luche. No luchemos, it's more or less the same with the no. But again, with the no luchéis. And que no luchen. So this would be like the negative part. Oh, okay. Smacznego. Have a great dinner. Have a great dinner, Nicole. Enjoy. So what we do is we switch to the subjunctive when we use the particle, when you use the negative. But let's say the composite of the word plus not plus the in context is understood as an imperative. So no luches, don't struggle. Que no luche. esa persona, que no luche, that person must not fight, right? No luchemos, let's not struggle, right? No luchéis, you all don't struggle. Que no luchen, let them not struggle. They should not struggle. They must not struggle, right? So that's different, But it's the negative because the regular one, again, without the que, lucha, luche, luchemos, luchad y luchen. That's how it stays, okay? That's the imperative. Simple. I hope it makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. We're going to move on to the next verb. As you see, this list is shorter than the one the other day. Lucha, luche, luchemos, luchad, luchen. You see how the ch, luchar, lucha, that's another, on the first lesson on the alphabet that we did before, the ch, ch. Maybe my che is a little bit like, because my tongue and so on, don't try and reproduce it exactly, but it's got a ch. Because I tend to do ch or something like that, like softer. But you get the gist. It's more or less, we're not super precise with our consonants. Like, it's way more important in other languages, like Polish, for instance, that, ch, it's way, it's way more important. We're a little bit loose with our consonants. We're very straightforward. I hope it's making sense to y'all. I hope it is. Okay, moving on to the next slide. We're gonna go back to the conditional simple, but with the verb to learn, aprender, segunda conjugación, second conjugation, that ends in er. So, okay, again, aprendería. And I need to remind you again that we're on conditional, so this implies an if. We're still in the woulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda territory, but this implies a condition. That's why it's a conditional, right? But I would learn if. Aprendería si. Aprendería si. Por ejemplo, we could say, okay, wait a second, let me figure this out, but aprendería algo nuevo si tuviera conexión a internet. So I would learn something new if I would have a connection to the internet. Aprendería, again, we're on the conditional, aprendería algo nuevo, something new, let's say direct object, the thing that we're analyzing in a sentence, right? What I would learn. Aprendería algo nuevo, I would learn something new. Algo means something, nuevo means new. So aprendería algo nuevo, I would learn something new if, sí. This is the if component that makes this verb in the beginning conditional. That necessitates of the conditional tense on this verb over here. So, si tuviese, again, we're on the subjunctive here, and the coulda, woulda, shoulda, and if I would have a connection to the internet. So something that we would in English say, I would learn something new if I would have connection to the internet. Which, by the way, internet, we use it without the article in Spanish. Internet, as if an uncountable thing. Don't overthink that much about that one aspect, okay? So, yeah, I would learn something new if I would have connection to the internet. We use the would learn, would have. We don't think about, they're not separate, different tenses, but in Spanish they are. So, the if component, I would learn, is a conditional simple. Aprendería algo nuevo, sí. But the condition, which modifies the first verb, is subjunctive. So it's the other type of coulda, woulda, shoulda, which, makes a lot of sense when you're thinking in Spanish. And I hope to be able to convey that difference for non-Spanish speakers. I hope it makes sense. I'm teaching you from the usage of the language, not from an academic standpoint. So in that way, I would say that I have a disadvantage into explaining this difference. But again, if we practice that difference and we see and we use that difference all the time when we practice Spanish, when we get there, we'll get there very soon, okay? Practicing Spanish, it will make sense eventually. And trial and error is a good way to get to those things. So for now, I'm telling you how it works in usage. Again, not in theory, but in usage. And don't get discouraged because of that, because we'll continue practicing and it will make sense, okay? So yeah, I would learn something new, aprendería algo nuevo, if I would have a connection to the internet, si tuviera conexión a internet. For instance, if the internet was a fully public thing and we would have like a public ISPs, that would be free for everybody. So poor people would have better access to the internet because we don't have to feed some greedy bastards who run the ISPs. So ISP would be a public thing, the internet will be a public thing, and, social networks would be federated instead of right now, in which all these public networks, including the one that you're seeing this right now, are driven towards advertising money, and which we are the product and they are taking advantage of us. I hope it's making sense. So we could say something like so, okay, it's hyphenating. I hate hyphenating. I mean, it's really good for longer paragraphs, but shorter paragraphs is fine. I don't have to change anything. Will advertising leftist propaganda on a micro ISP would be excellent practice? Definitely. Wi-Fi advertising, yeah, definitely. Oh, that's a very good idea, the Matrons Militia. Thank you for that. That's a great idea. Wi-Fi advertising leftist propaganda on a micro ISP. Yeah, that's tech people. Go ahead and make it happen. You all who are more tech savvy, make it happen. Little hotspots, little hotspots of recommending things, Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that. So, aprendería más cosas. I would learn more things. I would learn more. Yeah, aprendería. I would learn más. Más is more. Also plus. Cosas, things. Again, if el acceso, the access a internet. Whoops, I didn't capitalize internet, but you know what I mean. Fuck capital letters anyway. But yeah, si el acceso a internet fuera público. Again, I would capitalize. I would learn. More things if the access to internet would be public. Then we have more or less the same case as before. Hola, Riendis! Bienvenida! So, I would learn, aprendería, más cosas, more things, if el acceso a internet access, fuera público, would be public. And we have the same case as before. I would learn, would be public, or would be public, yeah. I would learn more things, and would be public. So, in English, it's would, would, no biggie, same tense for both cases, but in Spanish, this one, aprendería, would learn, is conditional. Fuera, would be, in this case, is subjunctive, subjuntivo. So it's a different tense, for the second part than for the first part of this composite sentence. We call composite sentence to any sentence that has two verbs. In this case, it's a conditional sentence, right? Because the nexus is the conditional if, C. Again, C minus the accent is the if, and C plus the accent is yes. And it doesn't make sense if I write it like this. You know what I'm saying. So let's go through the conjugation. Yo aprendería, I would learn. Tú aprenderías, you would learn. Esta persona aprendería, that person would learn. Nosotros aprenderíamos, we would learn. Vosotros aprenderíais, you all would learn. Ellas, aprenderían. I forgot to change that one. So if you see it in the document, which by the way, for all you watching live, the document is here. But feel free to modify the PDF because there's a typo over there. Oh my God. Okay. Don't worry about it. I do typos all the time. And it's a way to keep your teacher in check, you see? And show you that your teacher is incredibly flawed. So there's no hierarchy here. I mess up, okay? We all do. I just happen to know Spanish, and I hope you can learn some. Okay, moving on to perfective conditional. Again, the would or haber is the one that is conjugated in the conditional as the conditional simple. Aprendería, habría. Aprenderías, habrías, so on and so forth. And we add the participle aprendido, and that's good to go. So, habría aprendido, I would have learned. Tú habrías aprendido, you would have learned. Esa persona habría aprendido, that person would have learned. Nosotros habríamos aprendido, we would have learned. Vosotros habríais aprendido, you all would have learned. Ellos habrían aprendido, they would have learned. Straightforward, should I say. If we have an agreement over here, which I hope we do, have an agreement, and we can move on to the imperative, the orders. My glob. Okay. So, imperative. Aprende. You, learn. Que esa persona aprenda. Esa persona que aprenda. Let that person learn. Aprendamos. Let us learn. Let's learn. In which, let's learn sounds a lot like a suggestion. Like it's the least, it's the least hierarchical way, person of the imperative. Because it includes everybody in the group. And it sounds more like a suggestion than an order. Aprendamos español. Let's learn Spanish. Sounds like a suggestion more than a library, right? Like a library, an order. Sorry about the sleep. Anyway, aprended. You all learn. Aprendan. Que ellas aprendan. Let those people learn. They learn. Let them learn. Que aprendan. Which is, sounds way more nasty. Because this is a nasty tense, to be honest. Let's move on. Back to conditional simple, of resist, from resistir, which is tercera conjugación, third conjugation, which finishes in ir. So we had luchar, which finishes in ar, aprender, which finishes in and resistir, which finishes in ir. These are very, 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 very regular verbs, so they conjugate more or less easily. Maybe later on we could go through some irregular verbs that may be interesting, but we're not going to touch on those right now because we're on very, very, very simple, very 101 Spanish. So, I didn't change the name of the string, by the way. It still says how we in politics will make friends. But at this point, you all are watching what we're doing anyway. And we're making friends anyway. Okay. Resistir. Yo resistiré. Oh, no. Yeah, resistiría. Sorry about that. I went to I will resist in the future like I think I took my that was another slip over there. But yeah. Yo resistiría. I would resist. Again, we're in the conditional, which implies an if, a situation, a conditional situation, so on and so forth. Same as we did before with the other two verbs, okay? Yo resistiría. I would resist. Resistirías. You would resist. Esa persona resistiría. The person would resist. Nosotros resistiríamos. We would resist. Vosotros resistiríais. You all would resist. Ellos resistirían. They would resist. Again, this is an conditional, which implies to be used in a conditional sentence that implies an if element. And it would be like the first part of the conditional composite sentence, in which the first verb would be conditional, and the second verb would be in subjunctive mode. I hope it makes sense. Modo subjuntivo, modo condicional, they complement each other in conditional sentence. Okay. Condicional perfecto, same as before. We're more or less nailing, on the same verbs. This is the way to learn is repetition, so we're going to do that right now. The same, Habría resistido, I would have resisted. Habrías resistido, you would have resisted. Esa persona habría resistido, that person would have resisted. Nosotros habríamos resistido, we would have resisted. Vosotros habríais resistido, you all would have resisted. Ellos habrían resistido, they would have resisted. I'm gonna nail down the pronouns again. Again, él is for him, ella is for her. Nosotros is for us masculine, nosotras for us feminine, and nosotres for us neutral, which is, again, as I said before in other lessons, but we're going to nail over that concept again, saying that these neutral pronouns have not been officially accepted by the Real Academia de la Lengua, aka RAE, Royal Academy of the Spanish Language. Which is very, very, very far behind in social issues, but we the left are trying to push on that change on the language that would make the language much less aggressive to non-binary people or people who are gendered differently, or for people who are, excluded by the current norm in Spanish, in which we use the masculine as a default for, say, mixed groups. Mixed groups use the masculine by default, and that's something that we're trying to correct by introducing neutral pronouns. So, vosotros, you all in masculine, vosotras, you all in feminine, vosotres, you all in neutral, which is one of the new ones that we're trying to introduce, that the Spanish Royal Spanish Academy for the Language, which is composed of all the privileged, mostly men, are still resisting to include, but we're struggling to make them happen. So I encourage you to use them as much as you see fit. Avetsera Yehutova. What? Slovak. Oh, my forest very. Oh yeah, hotova. Okay, that sounds like gotova. Of course, dinner is ready. Dinner is finished. Oh, dinner is done. Cool. Forced linguistic shift in institutions. There you go. Your favorite. You know we deliver. We deliver. Okay. So ellos, they in masculine. Ellas, they in feminine, and ellas, they in neutral. That again, we're trying, for those old, backwards people to include. So that's the last slide in the document, but večera. večera. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Nicole. I'm learning a little bit of Slovak, which is fantastic. A večera je gotova. Je gotova. Španělsky. Right on. Let's learn some Španělsky. I assume that that S is like a soft one, right? Španělsky. Yeah, so imperative. Resiste, tú resiste, you resist. It's an order. Que esa persona resista. And again, esa persona que resista. Que we're nailing on the same points as before, okay? So the que resista y que resistan, the third person includes the, you know, it's implied, okay? Dziękuję bardzo. I'm trying to apply some of my Polish to try and link a little bit, with the Slovak. Which, by the way, we have on Sunday. We have 2 or 3. I'm in conversation with several Polish friends and comrades that are gonna join the conversation about the all the problems that we've been having with the awful piss, which is a puddle of piss in the form of a party, and that hopefully we'll have that panel on Sunday. And Saturday we're having a disabilities panel, awesome disabilities panel. And I know Snapple and Cats is gonna be there, so we're gonna have a blast. And tomorrow I'm gonna be with Kevin Logan. I'm looking forward to, because I haven't hung out with him for a while. But enough with the schedule. Let's go back to the imperativo, my least favorite of the tenses. Okay, so resiste, you resist. Que esa persona resista. Let that person resist. Have that person resist. That person must resist. Okay. Resistamos. Let us resist. Resistid. You all resist. Que resistan. Let that people resist. Again, we've been through this again with the imperative, and I hope the lesson was clear enough. Do you all have any doubts, any questions regarding this subject? I hope it's straightforward enough, and I hope it came through enough. But let me know if you have some questions before we move on to our extra. Our next little thing that we're gonna have in the Spanish lesson part, at least, of the stream. You have many doubts, but none regarding Spanish. We'll get to those after the lesson, I swear. Just for the sake of these things being orderly and clean, and I can stop recording for the YouTube part, and we can address them in the I hope it comes through. Well, let's do a song. Let me try and duplicate this page. Duplicate the page, and we're gonna do. Okay. Let's do one about the imperative. So the word ocupar is to squat, to occupy a building that has been abandoned. I'm gonna fetch it from the internet right now. This is a little bit improvised, but let me see. I think I have my guitar over here, and we can figure out. Okay. So, dales acción, búscame, dales acción en la calle. Yeah, that would be something. It's this is a song from Barricada, and it's a little bit, yeah, you'll see. Okay. Let's go through it slowly, okay? Because I don't have that. I don't know that song that well either way. Let's make the letters a little bit smaller. You all still can read the thing, right? Hopefully, properties. Something like that should be enough, right? Okay. Let's go through the song, okay? If it's okay with you all. Cool. Dale esa acción, búscame. Dale esa acción en la calle. Give them action. Dales acción. Búscame. Look for me. And this is imperative. Búscame. Look for me. This is busca without the accent. Okay, ignore the accent. But busca, it's the imperative for search or look for. But búscame, which is something that we do a lot in Spanish, is adding the me, the reflexive, not the reflexive, but the subject. Who are you looking for? Me. So búscame, we make it into a sole word. That's why the accent comes in, because it's búscame. So it's two more syllables, ka and me, and that's why we put the accent on the u, because it's what we call an esdrújula, which is two or more syllables before the accent. So búscame. So dales, give them. Again, da is give, imperative, and les is to them. So dales is give them. Acción, give them action. Look for me. Give them action. Look for me. Dales acción. Búscame. Dales acción en la calle. This is terribly punctuated. Sorry about that. I just copied and pasted the lyrics from could even be here or could be there, to be honest. It is the exclamation points. You open them up and you close them up. We have an opening exclamation point that is not here. Same here, like it's ocupación should be accentuated. Ah, damn it. Sorry about that. Butterfingers. But should be accentuated on both. But there you go. So, dale esa acción, búscame. Dale esa acción en la calle. ¿Quieres acción? Esto no se ha terminado. How do you... ¿Quieres acción? Esto no se ha terminado. Mírala, hay más de dos. Vamos a dejar de jugar, hay que tirar esa puerta. Patada y se acabó. Monta jaleo en la calle, ocupación. No van a darte la llave, ocupación. Which is, ¿quieres acción? You want action. Esto no se ha terminado. Esto, this, no se ha terminado. This isn't over yet. Or this isn't over. But the yet is implied. It is not explicit in the Spanish sentence. Because literally, word by word, is esto, this, no. Very self-explanatory. Se is like the reflexive. And it's a reflexive that operates on terminado. And ha terminado, it's past, perfective past. This isn't over yet. It hasn't been over. So, do you want some action? This isn't over yet. Look at it. Mírala. Look at her. Hay más de dos. There are, and this is the verb haber working by itself instead of with a composite. So it's not to have, but to be there. And más should be, this is very badly accentuated. Más de dos, more than two. Dos is the number two. We're going to go through the numbers at some point too. We're going to go through some basics. We still have a lot of basics to cover, but yeah. Look at her, there are more than two. Vamos a dejar de jugar. Vamos a, to go to. We're about to. It's a very contrived way to say to make a future. So we're gonna stop playing. Vamos a dejar de jugar. So we are going to stop de jugar playing. To play, like to play literally. But we're gonna stop playing. Vamos a dejar de jugar. We're gonna playtime is over, right? Hay que tirar esa puerta. We have to throw that door down. We have to kick that door down. Hay que tirar esa puerta. Patada, a kick, y se acabó, and it's over. Yeah, kick it, and done. And again, monta jaleo en la calle. To montar jaleo, it's to make a riot. En la calle, in the street. Ocupación. No van a darte la llave. They're not gonna give you the key. Ocupación. So let's go to verse number 2. I don't know what to do with this. Let's move it upwards and continue bringing it like that. Ocupación. So this is verse 2. It's hyphenating in. I can take hyphenation. Hablar por hablar. So, hablar por hablar, ese es el... no. Hablar por hablar, ese es el... No. Eso es el... Hablar por hablar, ese es el sistema empleado. Eres un peligro, defiéndete. Van a usar la porra otra vez, tus costillas contra el suelo. Hostia en la boca, hostia en los huevos. Hostia en los huevos. So, speaking for the sake of speaking, that's the system they employ. You so hate hyphenation, me too. I mean, it's very useful for longer paragraphs when we're trying to do like sentence or lyrics and stuff. It's something that you can turn off on this software, but you know, for me it's easier just to expand it right now. But yeah, hablar por hablar, that's a common expression. Speaking for the sake of speaking is, speaking nonsense. Ese, that. Es, is, el, the, system, empleado, employed. So, the system they use, the commonly used system. So, hablar por hablar, speaking for the sake of speaking, that's the system that is commonly used. That's a looser but more accurate translation even when it's not word by word. Eres un peligro, you're a danger. Defiéndete. And then we have another imperative. Defend yourself. Again, defiende is to defend, and te is the reflexive. So defend yourself. Defiéndete. Van a usar la porra otra vez. They're gonna use the truncheon again. The truncheon or the club. You know, the cops. So van a usar, they're going to use la porra, the truncheon or the club. Depends of if you're in British or American English. Spanish, I was about to say. Otra vez means again, one more time. Otra vez. Otra is another. Vez, it's time. Tus costillas contra el suelo. Your ribs against the ground. Straightforward. Hostia is that's a swear word. It could, literally hostia is that funky cookie that they give you at the mosque, but in this case it's to beat you up, to receive a beat. So you get beat in the mouth, you get beat in your balls. We in Spanish we call huevos. Huevos literally means eggs, but in this context, it's the balls. Same as balls means spherical things that you play with, except when you mean the say, typically male genitalia that dangle from the pubic area. So, yeah. Hablar por hablar. Ese es el sistema empleado. Es un peligro, defiéndete. Oh, van a usar la porra otra vez. Tus costillas contra el suelo. Hostia en la boca, hostia en los huevos. Oh, and then we go back to monta jaleo en la calle. Ocupación. Oh, no van a darte la llave. Ocupación. And then we move on. I need to copy the rest of the lyrics because this is totally improvised. I'm going back and forth. Okay, no van a darte la llave. Okay. It's no biggie. I can copy here. And I'm going to address your comment right now in this because I got so many windows open. It's weird when you hear a word and you know the context. And you know the context, so it means the thing that's implied. Yeah, context is everything. Context is so important in life in general. But yeah. So let's paste the rest of the lyrics. Montájale en la calle, no van a darte la llave. Ah! Sorry, wrong button. Okay, paste. Boop. So, dale esa acción. Eso es. Dale esa acción. Búscame. Dale acción. Ármate. Dale acción. A por ellos. So, dales acción. Give them action. And again, it's the imperative to give. So, give them. Dales acción. Give them action. Búscame. Again, look for me. Dales acción. Give them action. Ármate. Arm yourselves. So, armar, minus the accent, because it's because of ármate. Same logic as before. Is to arm. But ármate is to arm yourself. So, give them action, arm yourself, give them action. A por ellos. It's a very bad construction, actually. Going to get something is going for something. Voy por ellos. Voy por. But the popular way usage is going a por, which it's incorrect. Again, it's semantically incorrect. German also uses aya for testicles. Cool, because Norwegian, which is another German-derived language, uses boller, which is also balls. It resembles more English than actual German. Trying to remember, it sounded familiar to me that eggs was an euphemism. Yeah, there you go. They're actually also very fragile if you beat them hard enough. So there's that. So a por ellos it means like go for them. It's like a cheer, type of scream. So go for them and kick their asses in this context. Give them action, look for me. Give them action, good for me. Give them action, arm yourself. Give them action, go for them, tiger. So again. No tienes opción, romántico callejero. Las cuerdas van a saltar. Tu sitio lo tendrás que tomar, cueste lo que cueste. Apaga y vámonos. Monta jaleo en la calle. Ocupación. No van a darte la llave. Ocupación. And we go again to dales acción. Búscame. Dales acción. Ármate, dales acción a por ellos. Yeah, you speak some German. You people are so awesome. You know so many languages. Oh, that's fantastic. Kind of stalled. Austria is like, yeah, it's over there. Points west. Yeah, I got good friends that are like half Austrian, half British. Got a good friend. She's awesome. Just saying. So again, let's translate this part of the song. No tienes opción. You don't have an option. No tienes opción. So tienes opción, you have an option, but you don't have an option because the no comes before. You don't have an option. No tienes opción. Romántico callejero. Callejero is from the street, and romántico is a romantic person. So romantic man from the street. Las tuercas, the knots, not that kind of knot, but those that go into screws, let's say the gears. The gears are going to give in. Las tuercas van a saltar. Again, tuerca is a knot, but in Spanish, when you talk about the innards of a machine, it's easier to use the tuerca. So it's another knot. The knots are gonna blow up. Saltar, it means to jump, but sometimes it's saltar por los aires, blow up in the air. You were raised by your grandparents and learned Spanish until you were 15. That's cool. Los abuelos. El abuelo, la abuela. I miss my abuela. But she gone for years. And I still dream with her. So there's that. So, okay. Tu sitio lo tendrás que tomar. Your place, you'll have your place, tu sitio. Tu, it's yours. Your place, sitio. Your place, lo tendrás que tomar. You will have to take it. Tomar is to take. Tendrás is to have. So have to, tener que, tomar. You'll have to take it. What? Your place. Because it's kind of poetry-ish. Don't give it so Cueste lo que cueste. Again, this is subjunctive from the verb costar from the first conjugation, and it's cueste, whatever it takes. Cueste is to cost. Lo que, that what cost. So whatever it takes, basically, by any means necessary. Cueste lo que cueste. Again, there's a chant that we say, de norte a sur, de este a oeste, la lucha sigue, cueste lo que cueste. From north to south, from east to west, the struggle goes on, no matter what it takes. Cueste lo que cueste. And this is another common expression, which is apaga y vámonos. It's like, turn off the light and let's get out of here. So it's like, you have no option. You street romantic. The gears are gonna blow off. Your place, you'll have to take it, no matter what it takes. So turn on the light and say goodbye, right? You miss Europe? Yeah, same, years and years ago. Who do you want 2020? Yeah, I can't live with mine and two farmers, so I had extended family sort of thing. Yeah. So again, this is a song by the band Barricada. It's much more rock than what I'm playing, but yeah. Monta jaleo en la calle, ocupación. There you go. That's better. The ninth. Always go for the ninth. Monta jaleo en la calle, ocupación. No van a darte las llaves, ocupación. Dales acción, búscame. Dales acción, ármate. Dales acción, a por ellos. This is a very revolutionary type of song. It's a rock song by Barricada. But I think that would wrap up the imperative and conditional mode, if that's okay with you all. But we're gonna do a little extra on the side, okay? Okay, that's enough for the ocupación. But we're gonna do another little extra over here that I hope you like, that I hope you enjoy, which is ser, estar, which are two verbs and both mean, okay, should have. To be in different ways. And why am I saying this? It's never enough occupation, right? We gotta squat everything that's not taking. The living space is a right, it's not a commodity. So there's that. So ser y estar. Both of them mean to be in English, but they're different, their meanings are absolutely different. And I'm gonna explain the why. So you can say, oh, my glob, what happened here? Okay, don't worry about it. We copy this other paragraph and we should be safe. Soy una persona de izquierda. Sorry about, I can't type. I'm not typing correctly today. I don't know why. So, de izquierdas, as you can, those of you who know about my channel, cuñado de izquierdas. Brief explanation, cuñado is this type of guy who shows up at family dinners and he speaks out of his ass and he doesn't know what he's talking about. And they're usually right-wingers. So I made my character to be the same but left-winging. De izquierdas means left wing. It would say derechas. That would be a right wing. But we don't want to talk about right-wingers here, okay? So I am a left-leaning person. I am una persona, a person. I'm gonna turn off the guitar volume here. Una persona, a person, de izquierdas, left-leaning. So, left-leaning person, okay? And we can say, okay, stupid hyphenation. Sorry about that. Absurd hyphenation. Soy una persona de izquierdas. Estoy luchando contra el capitalismo. I am struggling against capitalism. Okay? Soy una persona de izquierdas. I'm a left-leaning person. I'm a leftist. Estoy luchando. I am struggling contra, against, the capitalismo. Very straightforward. So this is from the verb ser, soy, and this is estoy, estar, to be in both of the modes. So I am a left-leaning person, meaning soy una persona de izquierdas, means that is something that is who you are. It is a characteristic that you have, right? That's the verb to be as a characteristic of the subject who is being. Estoy luchando is I am struggling. It is a circumstance that is happening to that person. It is something, because that could be, yeah, but estoy luchando. But I'm gonna, yeah, because this could be confusing because this is a composite verb. So estoy. Again, estoy en contra is to be against. En contra means against. Del, of the capitalismo. Again, there are two. Let me show you. It's another extra because I'm gonna confuse you a little bit more. There are two contractions. Del, which is de, I can't type. De, el. Why can't I type? And al, which means a, el. These are two contractions in Spanish, which, the el, or the el, actually, both, with or without the action, the accent, sorry about that. So, del, it's of the. Al is towards. But this is easier to understand when you do like the feminine. Because when you make the feminine version, what? No, no. There you go. When you do the feminine version, you say de, la, a, la. So, from of the to the, but of the in masculine is del, and to the in masculine is al. So, it's a contraction. It's like two words meshed in. We all have bad typing days. Yeah, and it's basically a bad hand position. But yeah, kind of identity versus existence in a way. Yeah, but it's circumstance, but again versus a substance. I am a left-leaning person. Soy una persona de izquierdas. Estoy en contra del capitalismo. I am against capitalism. So that's a circumstance. You are against capitalism. Capitalism is a circumstance that you stand against. It's something you are doing. You can say, okay, I am at the assembly. Estoy en la asamblea. So somebody talks to you on the phone and say, yo, where you at? ¿Dónde estás? Okay, I'm gonna type the whole thing. So character 1 asks, and character 2 replies. Okay, I'm gonna ditch the capital letter because I ditch capital letters on purpose, basically. You meant to ask me, how do I share your screen on Twitch? It's because of the OBS. You make you share a window. It's on the OBS. I'll show you in a minute. Oh, you're originally from the US. Your grandparents lived in German-speaking farm community in the Midwest. That's cool. Estoy en contra del capitalismo. Perfect, Takerna. So let's say your friend asks you, where you at? ¿Dónde estás? On the phone, right? And you reply, estoy en la asamblea. I'm at the assembly. So this is where you at. Where are you? And again, it's estar, both of the cases, you know? You don't say, ¿dónde eres? No. ¿Dónde eres? No. Being as a... But not where are you? Is, you know, ¿dónde estás? Estoy en la asamblea. I am at the assembly, right? You're with your collective, you know, taking notes and making those endless meetings that we all know and love, or kind of hate, but put up with. So, where are you? I am at the assembly. It's a place where you are. It's not who you are. So, soy una persona de izquierdas. I am a left-leaning person. It's something that you are. But estoy en la asamblea, it means that you are in the assembly as a circumstance of yours, right? I hope it makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Does it make sense? The difference between ser and estar, which are like two different verbs. I hope it makes a lot of sense. It does. Success. Thank you so much, Nicole, for the feedback. Because I was a little bit worried that I couldn't be able to wrap my head around explaining this. It's something that we use a lot in Spanish. And again, you know, it's okay to, you know, when you're learning it as a foreign language, to mix them up a little bit. But it's a quick heads up of what you can find when you practice your Spanish. It will be something in the lines of confusions like this one that I found, and I thought, like, you know, considering, you know, imperative and conditional were so short to explain, I thought like we could totally go through this as well. Plus the song that I totally improvised that I hope I didn't butcher so much. So yeah, you have a small German town in Texas as well. Cool. Most of the older gen still speaks American German. Fredericksburg, of course, Fredericksburg. Yeah, we could say, actually, estoy en contra del capitalismo means I am against capitalism. But we could say, estamos en contra del capitalismo. Even, we could say, somos, and we say gente de izquierdas. We're leftist people. Somos gente de izquierdas. Estamos contra el capitalismo. You can practice writing it and pronouncing it if you want. Somos, we are. I'm gonna mark them. Somos, we are. Gente, people. De izquierdas, left-leaning. So we are leftist people. See how, you know, the grammar acts a little bit different? Like after the verb always comes the subject. Okay. Estamos, we are, en contra, against, del capitalismo. Capitalism. We're against capitalism. Del, the L, remember. Contraction of the L. We're never going to write this, okay? The L. It's a way to explain it, because we're always going to write del or al, a-l. So that's to be. Ser against estar. I hope it makes sense. If you have any doubts about the Spanglish, yeah, that's true. We have Spanglish and we have Portuñol, which is when we Spaniards try to be brave enough to try and put some Portuguese words into our Spanish to have Portuguese speaking people understand us, and we fail miserably. But they react in a very, very cute way. They're heartwarmed, and I know. I mean, Spanish-related doubts. We'll get there when we get there very soon, actually, because I think we're gonna wrap up the lesson for today. I hope it's made a little bit of sense. I hope it made a little bit of sense. The lesson today. I hope it did. I don't know. But this is the lesson, the Spanish lesson for today. Thank you for coming to the lesson. We're going to continue live on Twitch for a while, just hanging out and messing around. But this is for the lesson, the Spanish lesson. Lesson, I think it's number 4, if I'm not mistaken. And next week, hopefully, next stream, we got some other non-Spanish related streams ahead of us, but we're going to continue very soon with the rest of the Spanish lesson. Hopefully we're going to start, giving the lessons in Spanish. I hope you all are ready for a simple lesson in Spanish lesson in Spanish. Yeah, the VODs are on YouTube. I made a whole playlist. We're on lesson 4, so we went through the alphabet. It was a long one, but it was a fun one, and we've been through the verbs, at least the basic part of the verbs already, which is quite a chunk of the. But yeah, I think it's also because German. Okay. But yeah, they're on YouTube. It's on a playlist. Check them out. If you're watching this on YouTube, check it out. Check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/Javitrino. I hope I'll leave a link or something. But you see the screen name here when I type Javitrino. You know the drill. You know how it goes. Because right now we're going to mess with music. We're going to do some other hangout. So have a good one, YouTube people. See you very soon in the next lesson.